Hey guys, welcome back to another one of Mr. Robbins' math workshop. This will not be a long lesson at all because we're still talking about metric. And if you remember from one of our previous lessons, I said that the metric system, doing the conversions in it is super simple to do the conversions. We're going to be talking about liquid volume. Some people like to refer to liquid volume as capacity, but we're going to call it liquid volume, units of liquid volume with the metric system. Pretty simple. We only really have to worry about two. Again, I'm trying to figure out where I need to sit here. I was just thinking my hair is starting to get a little crazy and wild. When this whole thing started, they said that they talked to the owner and the people that run Walmart, and they said that bathroom tissue and hand sanitizer, those type of things were flying off the shelf a lot when everybody first started the quarantine. Now they said they're in the hair dye and clipper phase. So I don't know. You might see Miss Robbins with some pink hair soon. She gets in the house too long. She gets a little stir crazy. She starts doing things with her hair. I don't know. I'm probably gonna look like a caveman here before too long, because most of you know I get my hair cut every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. So I'm going on like 6 weeks with no haircut. So, but we'll all be all right. So here we go. Milliliters and liters. Liters is probably one that we use most often when we say, oh, mom might tell you to go grab a 2 liter of soda in a store, and instantly most of you right now can picture what a 2 liter bottle of Coke or a 2 liter bottle of Dr. Pepper, or I don't know if you would get to drink soda or not. I know we try to limit our boys to sodas on the weekends, but they definitely know what a 2 liter bottle of soda looks like. So just try to picture that when we start talking about the liters, so you know it's a bigger unit. Well, let's just look up here real quick. We have the first one is 1 milliliter. That's about 25 drops of water. So think about a little, like a raindrop. It would take about 25 of those to equal a milliliter. So milliliters are small. For me, the only time I really think about milliliters is like if I'm taking like some cough medicine or something, like a NyQuil or something, and you have that little, again, I'm trying to figure out how to turn my hand, those little cups that come in there, and mommy might pour the medicine, like any type of liquid medicine, in that little cup is measured in milliliters. So you know you're looking at smaller amounts. And then, so let's drop down to the next one. So this is how the conversion works. Remember what I said about the metric system? It works off of that 1,000. You're like, well, this is the same as kilometers and meters, and it is. And that's what makes the metric system really easy to grab onto quickly, is because here again, we have 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. And you're thinking of a 2 liter bottle that you might get a soda, but you know the water bottles, like the squishy water bottles that we have in class that kids love to squish and then blow up and squish and blow up, and then you see mine and Miss Robbins' hair standing up. We're like, what is that noise? Those are about 1 liter. 1 liter. So it takes 1,000 milliliters to equal 1 liter. And I wrote right here, 1 liter is a plastic water bottle. And then we already talked about what a 2 liter would look like. So making the conversion just as simple as the other metric conversions. I'm going to flip it over here. I'm going to do a few right here, live and in person. So let me grab my marker here. So I like to put the little reference up here. Like I said, some of the strategies that I taught you guys, or if your parents are listening right now, one of the strategies Mr. Robbins taught you, you will have, when you take FSAs going forward, you will have these conversions on a reference sheet. But if you don't practice looking at them, then they might not mean anything to you, because they might use the symbols. They might use the ml for milliliter, or they might just put that L there for liter. So that's why it's important to go ahead and get into the practice of not just looking at the numbers, but looking at the units and how they're written. That way, going forward, you could use those reference sheets, because I taught the kids about reference sheets. I remember one of my first years teaching the FSA as a teacher. So teachers are always learning too. Maybe I hadn't stressed the reference sheet as much as I should have. It was my first year ever teaching the FSA, and I had showed the kids, I'd given the kids earlier in the year, and they all had a reference sheet. And I remember we were collecting the tests, and one of the things that the state required you to do was to collect the reference sheets as well as all the testing materials. And I asked the kid, I'm like, where's your reference sheet? I gotta have it. He's like, oh, what's that for? And I'm like, oh, that'll never happen again. I'll make sure that I always stress to kids, learn to read those reference sheets. It's got customary links on there. It's got the metric on there, some of our formulas for area and perimeter. So it's just always good to make sure you learn these symbols and learn how to use these references. That's a little sidebar there. I get chasing a rabbit sometimes, but let's go ahead and do a conversion here. So if we have 2,000 milliliters, we're looking back up here to our reference, we know that 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. So 2,000 milliliters would be, go ahead and write it. You got it. 2 liter. 2 liter. 4,000 milliliters. 4 liters. So think about it. If you drink 4,000 milliliters of Coke, that would be the same as drinking 2 liters or 4 liters of caffeinated drink. That probably wouldn't work well with your parents. You'd probably be bouncing on your bed and doing backflips, and I don't know. I think Trip could do that though, actually. So 9,000 milliliters would equal 9 liters. 9 liters. And I'm not going to get real heavy into, maybe tomorrow morning I'll talk about, maybe you have to Google this, or maybe I'll give you the reference of making like liters to gallons, but I don't want to, that's something that we're not going to have to worry a whole lot about right now. So I want to make sure that we've got this. That way we're building that good foundation of milliliters to liters and liters to milliliters. So then we're going to think backwards now. Now we're going to give you the liter. Well, we know we're skip counting by thousands. We know that 3 liters would be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 milliliters. So I'm going to go ahead and do these next two on my head. And I want you to go ahead and either do them on your head, or maybe you have a little journal in front of you or a piece of paper that you could write it down. But I'm just going to do those two real quick. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. This is actually a 10 liters. So go ahead and do those. I'm going to do those in my head real quick. Put my little thought bubble here. And I know that that is saying 7 times 1,000. So this should be 7,000 milliliters. 7,000 milliliters, and you probably already did this. You said 10 times 1,000 is simply 10,000 milliliters. So super simple to make these conversions. Some of the things that we got to think about though is not only the math portion of it, but I know, because I look at the iReady lessons before, it's going to ask you questions, and I just want you to start making those visual references in your brain. Liters, big water bottle. Milliliter, talking about small amounts, the little medicine cup possibly, or I said that on the front side that, look at that, 25 little drops of water. So just start getting that in your mind that the milliliter are small and liters are big, and that'll help you, because there's going to be questions on the iReady like how many liters are in a fish aquarium, or would you use, liters or milliliters to measure maybe like a spoon. So just have that reference in your mind about how big a milliliter and a liter is. So hopefully the end of the week I'm going to look at, I don't think iReady has a lesson that kind of mashes them all together. So Ms. Robbins and I will create a multiple choice this time question in the Google Classroom for making the conversions in all 6. So we have the 3 that we do in metric and the 3 that we do in customary, and we'll do maybe a little test or quiz on Friday. We do have school. This is the first week in a long time that we actually have all 5 days. I know some kids last week were kind of confused about why we had Friday off, because last Friday was Good Friday and the Friday before that was Fair Day. But from here on out, we are going to have Monday through Friday school, and we'll definitely try to have, like, probably Fridays will be a good day to have our catch-up day, plus any little quizzes that Ms. Robinson and I might create. But just keep these references handy. You can always write them down on a piece of sheet. A sheet of paper or a piece of paper. I combined the terms. But you can use these references during any of my tests. I don't mind at all. I know for the science test last week, I gave you the study guide. Some of you pulled up the study guide on one side and had the test on the other. I'm fine with that. As long as you're learning the information, that's just another tool that you can use. I don't mind that you use references at all, because I know that way you're learning the material. So until next time, we're probably going to get ready to move into some time and probably some interpreting data on graphs and charts. And then we'll start just reviewing and getting ready for 5th grade, because normally at this time of the year we'd be starting to wrap up the math of new things, so to speak, that we're learning, and we would be really starting to hit all of the content that we've studied all year, getting ready for the FSA. So seeing that we don't have the FSA, we're just going to get ready for 5th grade. So we might hit area models and area and perimeter and some geometry, and I'll start assigning some lessons that you might have done before. No big deal, just go make 100 on it. And but we definitely want to keep those things fresh in our mind. If you don't use them a lot, maybe you say, man, I don't remember the area model that well because we did it way before Christmas. Well, we're going to make sure that you have it and that you're ready for 5th grade. So, till next time, bye.